We go through a session, mate.
Yeah.
I'm going to record it.
You are?
I'm going to record our chat for the session. How's your day been?
That's been alright.
Until now.
Until now.
All right.
Yeah, that's been
That's
good.
for you, mate.
Tough, thank you.
Now, there's not necessarily a right or wrong, but I want you to put together an upper body session.
Yeah.
Now, it's up to you if you think there's any questions that need to be asked first.
Yeah. And just a normal.
So it doesn't necessarily need to be for us. It could be for... So the question I'd ask first is, who's it for?
Yeah. Alright, so who's it for?
So I'd say just a male with 35 years of age. He's been training for about 8 years. Pretty consistent with the gym. You know, looks like he trains a bit.
Yep.
Never done a show. Like he's not sort of competition big, but
has worked out before.
yeah, you see him walking down the street. He trains.
Yep. Has a fairly idea of what he's done.
Yeah, and so he's sort of come to us because he's not quite sure if he's getting the most out of his training. He probably wants a few tips and tricks, and basically he'll come to you and say, "Look, I do a traditional bodybuilding, so I do a chest day, I do a back day, I do a leg day, and a shoulder day."
Yeah.
What would you put together for an upper body day for him?
Well, the first thing we probably look at is we'll put together a nice upper body workout. The first we'll look at is probably your form and what hasn't been working for you before and why you've come to us in the first week.
Yeah, well, that's a great question. The first question would be what can I do for you?
Yeah,
what can I do for you?
Yep.
And so say he says, look, you know what, been doing this bodybuilding split, Pt.1, chest on Monday, just feel like I'm fucking plateaued, hitting brick wall, mate, I just want to get big. I'm not worried about the food yet, we'll worry about it down the track, but just come to you, I'm going to train with you. How often you reckon per week I'm going to commit to you for the next 8 weeks? So if you reckon it's 3 times, you reckon it's 5 times, mate, money's no object. What kind of split would you put together? So if you let's assume he's got no weak body parts, it's quite symmetrical, and he goes, just overall fucking big, I don't really want to massive shoulders relative to my legs, so I won't worry about that yet. What sort of split would you put together for him, and how many days? So how many days a week do you reckon? Just based on that.
What we'll do, we'll just start with 3 days a week. Okay.
What do you reckon, 3?
It's just a good amount of time to get all your muscles working. It's enough load on the muscles to make a change within that period of time. I think if you're doing, depending on how long the sessions are, I would say 45 minutes or something. Yeah,
45 minutes to an hour, but that's going to be your call. So we'll say 45 minutes to an hour.
No less than 45 minutes. Definitely 100% no less than 45 minutes.
So we'll say 45 minutes 3 times a week.
So let's just go make it nice and simple. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All right. Monday we'll do an upper body session. So covering.
Let's cover that today then. So what would the weekly split look like? So you can say upper body. So is it going to be like a whole upper body, or is it going to be like a? Let's go through that one first.
Okay. So what we're going to do today, we're going to start on our chest. And
so it'll be a chest day, or
just a chest day on its own today, right? Middle part of the week, we'll probably just do a leg session. And then the Friday, we'll probably hit like our shoulders and our back. So with the 3 days in the week, you're going to unless you're training twice a day, we're going to have to put those two together somewhere.
So we're done.
I would like to, when I train chest, I prefer like to do that whole session in that direction on that one muscle group. Why do
you like that?
I just think it works best for me. I don't have.
So trainers bias. Trainers will bias what they think works.
That's what I think works for me. And then, in a perfect world, I'd probably split the shoulders and the back in the other way, but I'll put the shoulders and the back together. And then.
Why do you like that?
What I like that, it's just like I said, I prefer to do my whole chest all on my own. And work that way. And then I would do my chest and backs cover that way, and then also I'd put core probably in all 3 sessions.
So you chuck some in.
Definitely. And that's after our 4, just to maintain it. You know, and that's all.
So why would you reckon do core 3 times a week and not chest 3 times a week, or not back 3 times a week or not?
Oh, well, just because, well, depending on how much you're going to eat and how well you're going to diet, you know, you've got to build those muscles first anyway. Everyone reckons, oh, you know, you want a six-pack and stuff, and they say, oh, you got to eat well to get the six-pack to show, but you've also got to build those muscles as well for them to show.
See, my opinion on that, I'll disagree on that. My opinion on that is that most people, for the most part, will have abs under there. A look, and this is not always, everyone's different, a look that looks appealing and definitely wins shows is probably not being too blocky through there.
Well, that depends on your exercises. Like so things like your plank and stuff, you really want to stop doing. You know, there's.
So wouldn't you think that? Because I mean, you'd agree that you can't obviously spot reduce fat. So if you're saying to me, like, why do you think abs should be a priority? So you're saying let's build the ab muscles, let's do them 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Why would you make them a priority and say rather than make your chest bigger by doing 3 times? Like, what do you think is about abs that warrants 3 sessions a week? That's fine, mate. That's what it's all about. So,
I don't really have a reason. I just think in my head when I train, I think just be getting them in. Right?
That's all it's all about, man. Just feeling out these things.
Because, well, the way people would train abs, right? So when you're training your muscles in like on a certain body part, right, you're going to spend a good 45 an hour, whatever you spend on them. When people train abs, mostly they'll train it for 10 to 15 minutes, right? So if you just get 10 to 15 minutes in, right, of hardcore ab training, then that'll add up to about half an hour to 45 minutes over the week. So I just do it like that. No one really just comes in and says, oh, I'm going to commit 45 minutes. That's how I look at it. It's wrong, but it's
not necessarily wrong.
But that's how I look at it.
If you want to train abs, that's possibly not a bad way to do it. As opposed to a 45 session. Ab 1 is a 4th day a week. That's probably not bad. Look, I mean, I suppose it's probably personal bias.
In a perfect world, so how would you train abs then?
I think they get abs. I think they get worked some. So you got your 2 parts. So you get transverse abdominals, which will be stuff that will be worked from your deadlifting, so stuff from your stabilising. Which is like your deep, thick muscles. And you got your rectus abdominis, which is a pretty 6-pack ones, which you'll get from sort of flexing. My theory is you probably don't need to do a ton of stuff for the transverse abdominis if you're deadlifting, squatting, anything that has any sort of core stabilisation. It can help to throw in a little bit of stuff just to, sort of like arm stuff. People say, oh, I don't train arms directly because they get hit doing push, pull, that kind of stuff. But definitely giving them a little bit of attention will help. But personally, I don't think they warrant the same level of attention as some of the bigger muscles because I think they haven't got a potential to be that big. So it's like quads, for instance, have a massive potential for growth. And so I'd really be flogging the shit out of them. Where abs, I mean, okay, like how big are they going to get? And being bigger doesn't necessarily mean a good thing. I mean, having nice external obliques is great, but if your external obliques are actually too big, they can even make you look wider through the waist. But it's not terrible. I wouldn't want to take away from, like, shoulders and back day, for instance. That's going to be a big day. So back's a big day, and to chuck shoulders in. What I was going to say is, if I was going to do 3 days a week, and I was going to do the split you're talking about, like say I want to do chest on Monday, so I want to do legs on the next day, I'd probably put shoulders with back, so I'd give shoulders the least priority, like in the sense that I might not even do an overhead press, might just smash rear delts, side delts.
Also too, like, so with your chest day, you turn it on your delts anyway. That's right. You're getting a workout in a way. So that's the only reason why I would put those two together. If you've got those many days.
If you're doing 3 a week, that's probably the way to do it.
In a perfect world, you'd obviously train them.
We'll say 3. 3 is reasonable.
3's what most people are going to do. In this world.
I think. Let's go with that. Let's just say, for argument's sake, to say, okay, what's the split we're going to do, and it's fine. What would your chest day look like?
Chest day, as in like exercises.
So Monday, we're going to start with.
So definitely start with an activation. Exercise.
That's what I
so like we've been doing our main cable ones. I enjoy those. I don't exactly know what it's actually called, the high cable.
I'll put all this in the video later, so you can just say activation. I'll explain what it is.
So a high cable fly, concentrating on your squeezing, contraction of your muscles. You know, really get them firing.
So you're just focusing on the pecs as the activation, or what do you?
Pardon?
When you do the activation, just focusing primarily on the pecs, or do you?
Just pecs. When I'm doing my chest, 100%.
What do you think about doing stuff for your lower and mid traps, so you can help with your retraction when you're benching later.
Benching though, so that's so. We'll just go one for one, yeah. For a second. So start with activation, Do the activation, get them nice and warm.
So we're talking about pecs activating.
Sets that I would do, I wouldn't go any more than over.
Let's stay with the activation first.
I wouldn't go any over more 4 sets of activating. And I'd increase the weight each time, but nothing too stupid. All you want to do is get the muscles firing up before you go.
I think if you need more than 4 sets of activating, we're not doing it properly. So,
And that again. So when you're doing that, that's a nice and slow process.
Stay away from fatigue.
A lot of activation exercises is just purely about squeezing, and just nice and slow. So
you're trying to get the muscles to
fire up, before we use them, and then when we start our chest, so. Like you said, you probably want to work yourself up to like 2 or 3 working sets. Always increasing your weights because obviously lifting.
So the only activation you do would be.
Well, that's what. That for this day, I'll just do one activating.
What do you think about doing something for your mid and lower traps? So when you're actually doing your benching, you've got your mid and lower traps retracting muscles all working up in there.
Are you just talking about like just keeping your back pinned back?
When you're doing your pressing. You're right, Johnny.
So that's a massive key. It's like just obviously keeping your shoulder blades nice and pinned back, nice and hard. Pretty much try to wrap them around the bench if you've got a smaller bench. And then that there is going to help you from lifting off too much. So therefore,
it might be worth throwing like an activation in for your mid and lower traps.
Exactly.
If you disagree, you can say so.
What do you mean 100%?
Well, I mean, so you were saying to me, we're going to do our bench press later, presumably. And that's going to involve a lot of retractions. It's going to involve a lot of your mid-lower traps, rhomboids, that kind of stuff. Would make sense to me that if we're doing activations, we do something that gets those activated, gets those muscles firing for our stability rather than just doing pecs.
I'm a bit stuck there.
That's right, man. You're not missing out. This is what this is about.
So that's where I don't know where I haven't really worked on it. I don't know.
That's right.
Besides working, like
all this is about, man, is just finding out what you know and what you don't know. And learning what we don't know.
Well, besides, I know how to train your lower back and all sorts like that, but I don't know what you'd go for like as an activation.
That's fine.
I know. I was actually thinking about that not long ago. With your traps, what gets them firing? Because the only actually exercise that I would probably do for my upper traps is your upper rows, and then working your lower back.
Well, your upper traps you wouldn't want to worry too much. So the upper traps will be up there, and they're not going to do a whole lot. So when we retract, we're wanting to go the mid and lower traps, not really wanting to shrug up at all. So we'll get the mid and lower traps. I'll show you a few exercises.
That's definitely somewhere I'd want to work on.
That's pretty underrated in my opinion because underrated in my opinion because remember on your bench press, assuming you're not doing machine, is your stability is going to dictate a hell of how many reps you're going to get out. And that's for me a pretty important variable when choosing exercise is how well you can be braced. So the better braced we can be, the better it is. Now that's why machines are easier, so to speak, because you are braced. You have to control. It's got a converging range of motion. Dumbbells, bar, whatever you choose, you don't have that same level of control. You need to actually brace yourself a little bit better. But you do recruit more fibres as a result. So what I'm trying to say is it will cost you reps if you can't retract your shoulder blades properly. So I think that's just as important, if not more important, than actually getting the pecs firing.
This is another thing that's like a bit of an argument too, like where I always thought, doing dumbbell bench press, like free weights. Also, I thought it was like always like that would always stabilise your core more. When I've heard that they think that like from bench pressing, it does it actually more than it does. That, so the core, if you're holding 2 weights here and you've got to lock in your back and hold there, I don't understand how.
So you're saying you're saying stability. You've heard stability is harder.
It'll work better on your stability than it would.
Because we don't give a fuck so much about the core.
No. But I'm just saying, as in stability, it will strengthen up everything.
So when I'm saying stability, what I mean is your ability to keep your mid and lower traps pinned to the bench, so your shoulders aren't protracting at the top of the bench, where you're not fucking wobbling and stuff. So that's what I talk about with that.
To fix it,
Well, I mean, if you can't retract your shoulder blades properly and can't turn those mid and lower traps on, then by definition, you're not going to be able to jam them into the bench, and you're not going to be able to get your pecs up. You're going to be like that with the delts in front of the pecs, as opposed to the opposite with the pecs in front of the delts, like that. So it's going to be on your ability to pin those in, hold them there under load. All right, so we've got our activations done. We'll go through those. what's your first working movement?
Yeah, so we'll go with the dumbbell bench press. Yeah. On the
dumbbells. Incline?
Yeah. So that'll be our heavy
What do you
exercise.
like?
Why do I like that? I don't actually know. I just prefer it. I prefer it more than the bench, and I feel like I get way more results out of it. That's how I feel. So
I'll give you my thoughts. Why would you do that?
Depends how you're training.
Why would you do that and not go and smash cable flies when you really feel the pecs burning, you get a fucking sick pump? Why would you go and do a dumbbell bench?
Because it's your heavy exercise you can't lift as heavy as you can.
Why not?
Because it's just the way the angles are and the way you are. I feel like you can't push as hard.
What's the muscle doing? Is the muscles doing anything different in terms of the way they...
No, it's doing the same thing.
No, it's not. Well, I mean, where's the load placed? So when you do a bench, or bench press, at which part of the movement is the load? Which part of the...
down here. So your lengthen range. So when it's in your lengthen range, that's the hardest part, where the most heaviest part, where you get the most stretch, the most pull.
So you've got the most strength in your lengthened to mid range, is what you're trying to say. So the muscles.
If I was flying, I'm still getting that in the lengthen range, right? That stretch, but the weight load is completely different. Whether that makes a difference or not, but if I'm pressing just say 40 kilo dumbbells in that well, I just think that maybe that's going to benefit me more.
To make life easy, what we're basically saying is, pick a movement that allows you to place as much mechanical tension, i.e. weights load, onto the target muscles. The target muscles pecs. So when we do a dumbbell bench or barbell bench, we can discuss another time why we choose one over the other. We like it because it loads the pecs in the length and range where they're the strongest, as opposed to a fly, which loads, or like a cable crossover or whatever it is, where it loads in the short range where we're the weakest. So we want to do the length and range first because it gives us it's got the most potential for growth. And that's what we want to do. So I've been insane to smash flies. I can always, you always mix it up for whatever fucking reason. But
if you're dumbbell pressing, right? And could you use a dumbbell as press as an activation, even though it's in the length and range, as a lighter way to use it?
I mean, if you're
obviously it's like you working up to a heavier set.
If you're not going to do anything that works your mid to lower traps, I'll be getting a lightweight into the dumbbell bench. I'll be keeping the chest up. I'll be holding really, really tense there. Coming up, just getting those mid and lower traps in there. In addition to obviously building the weight up. All right, so we've done that. So what's your sets, reps, rest? What are we doing?
Like I said, so we'll probably just go to work to 8 to 12 reps, depending on how you're traveling. 2 working up sets and then 2 proper full heavy working sets probably to that.
What do you like, 8 to 12?
8 to 12 is just a good range of where the muscle would be actually like 100% firing and working, So
it would fire on 20.
Yeah, it'll fire on 20, but I don't know actually.
That's right. Okay, so that's what we'd call a hypertrophy range. Okay, so it's not black and white; it's a spectrum. But under 3 to 5 reps would be. It's more of a neurological response. There's not enough time with the muscles under tension because the 3 reps is over.
Also, too, that's the thing. Like if you go, sorry, I don't want to cut you off. If you go to that 20 rep range, also it starts going into like that metabolic range, right? Where you're starting to you're getting your heart rate up, you're starting to burn fat. Depending on what you're trying to do, but if you're trying to hold muscle and build muscle, well, you don't really want to be burning fat.
You should always be trying to build muscle. You shouldn't walk into a gym and do weights. For any other reason.
But if you go over to that higher rep range, that's when you start to...
We'll discuss it now. So essentially there is some broad ranges. So your 1 to 5 reps you might call your neurological range, where what's actually a bigger factor in moving the weight is your brain's ability to fire a response, central nervous system to fire a response to the muscle for it to contract hard and fast. Okay, so as a result, the muscle isn't under load for as long, because it's done in a few seconds. So there isn't as much potential for hypertrophy because the muscle probably needs a little bit longer time under tension to try and make it recruit more muscle fibers essentially. That's right, mate. This is what stuff you got to learn. That's all right. So we'll just go through it so you understand.
That's cool.
When you get to sort of 5 to 8 to 12. You're probably talking more that hypertrophy range, where due to the fact that there's about the right amount of time under tension, it's broadly speaking stimulating enough muscle fibers to produce growth. The weight's heavy enough that we're producing growth. So if we go 1 to 5,